Fluent Talk Podcast.
From SayAndLearn.
Welcome back to the deep dive. You know that moment? That moment of just total social paralysis. You walk into a new job, a new class, you meet a friend of a friend, and they hit you with it. That simple, but honestly the most challenging question. Tell me about yourself.
It sounds so easy, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is people just freeze up
Totally.
because they don't know what's okay to share. I mean, do you give them your whole life story?
Right.
Or did you say your job title and then, just stop talking?
It usually ends up being this hesitant 3-sentence thing that just kills the conversation before it even starts.
Exactly. So we want to replace that panic with a really powerful and flexible structure.
And for this deep dive, we're going to leverage a simple framework, one that was actually designed for language learning, to build an engaging personal story on the fly.
Yeah, our source material for today is this wonderfully broken down exchange. And it's not just about reciting facts. We're going to analyze the categories it uses, and maybe more importantly, the contrasts, to show you how to turn a basic fact into an actual invitation for a real conversation.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Our mission is to pull out the strategy here. We're going to look at two characters from this model, Paul and Emily, and see how their details build these two instantly memorable personalities.
And the goal is for you to walk away with a personalized, sort of tiered strategy for any introduction.
All right, let's start with the absolute basics, the foundation, the things you pretty much have to say. Name, origin, age, and vocation.
Right, your foundational 4. But what's crucial here is that the model doesn't just list them. It immediately adds layers of context and contrast.
So we have Paul, he's 28, from Canada.
And then Emily, she's 25, from the United States. So right away, you have a difference, not just geography, but, it hints at something more.
And that's the key move, isn't it? They frame their locations not just by the country, but by the lifestyle that place represents.
Exactly. Paul lives in a small town, and he specifically says he likes it because it's quiet.
While Emily's in a big city.
The total opposite. She says it's noisy, it's busy, but she loves the energy.
So that contrast, quiet small town versus this busy dynamic city, it's like a shorthand.
It really is. In 2 sentences, you already have a feel for their personalities, their worldviews. They didn't just state a location, they revealed a core value.
And that layering keeps going right into where they live.
Paul's in a small house with a garden.
Which suggests, a kind of stability, a bit of peace and quiet.
For sure. And Emily, she's in a small apartment. But the detail is that it's a very nice apartment. So it suggests, efficiency, being close to the action.
These little details give you this quick visual of their daily life. You don't need a long story.
And then we get to vocation, what they do. Paul is an English teacher.
But the framework insists you add an emotion to it.
Yes. He loves his job. That is so much more informative than just, I am a teacher. It signals passion.
And Emily, the art student, does the same thing. She doesn't just say her major, she says her studies are very fun and creative.
Right. The template gets that your passion for what you do is a higher value fact than just the title itself.
I mean, if you just state your job, the conversation can just stall out right there.
Okay, if you state your job and why you love it, that's a hook. That's an invitation to ask more.
So the strategy is to pair the objective fact, where you live, what you do, with why it actually matters to you.
Okay, so here's where we move past, the basic data points and start to build a real person.
This next tier uses context. We're talking family, creativity, and pets.
Family details are such a powerful way to add depth. They show the listener the environment that, that shaped you. So Paul has a younger sister, Sarah.
And she's a music student, plays the piano.
And Emily has an older brother, Tom. He's 29.
Okay, but can I just inject a little friction here? Do we really need to know that Tom is 29? I mean, is that specific age really necessary?
That's a really good question. And I think strategically, for a real introduction, probably not.
Right.
But for this learning model, that specificity, it adds a bit of authenticity. It grounds the story. But more importantly, notice the theme running through their families.
Okay. The creativity and skill.
Yes. Paul's mother is a writer and his father is a doctor.
And Emily's mother is a teacher for little kids, which they call an important job.
Yeah.
And her father is a chef who cooks delicious food.
So you have these high-skill, really diverse jobs. You've got analysis, nurturing, communication, artistry.
The framework is deliberately showing creative or service-oriented roles.
It is. A writer, a musician, a chef, an art student. It backs up the individual's own creative side by showing, it runs in the family. It tells the listener, I come from a place where this stuff is valued.
And then we get to the universal connector, pets.
Ah, yes. If family is your history, pets are your daily emotional life.
So Paul has Max the dog, described as brown, very friendly, and very funny.
And Paul calls himself a dog person, which is an immediate signal. Loyal, energetic, social. You get all that from one phrase.
Meanwhile, Emily has Luna the cat, black and white, very quiet, and very sleepy.
The classic cat person proxy. Elegant, independent, maybe someone who likes quiet time.
It's a perfect shortcut, isn't it?
It really is. The model uses pets as a substitute for adjectives about yourself. Instead of saying, I'm a friendly and loyal person, Paul just says,
I have Max, a very friendly dog. It's way more engaging. You can immediately ask about Max. Okay, let's pivot now to the fun stuff, the dynamic elements. Favorites, hobbies, and this is really useful, are dislikes.
The favorites section keeps using that contrast method to paint the full picture. So Paul loves pizza.
But specifically, vegetable pizza, which he says is delicious and healthy.
Right. And Emily, her number one favorite is pasta. So two classic relatable foods, but they each have a clear preference.
Then there's color, which gives you a sense of their mood. Paul likes blue. He calls it a calm color, like the sky.
And Emily prefers green. She links it to nature, trees, grass. Again, it's quick, it's easy, and it defines two different temperaments. One is tranquility, the other is like vitality.
The hobbies are where they really flush out their free time.
Yeah.
Emily, who seems
That's
more
fun.
contemplative.
Yeah, she paints every weekend to relax. And she reads adventure stories.
And Paul, who seems more active, he balances his teaching with listening to old rock music and playing sports.
Soccer, specifically. On Saturdays with friends, he also loves movies, especially comedy and animated ones.
And these details are just fantastic conversation bait. If someone says they like old rock music, you don't just nod.
Yeah.
You ask, oh yeah, what's the best concert you've ever been to?
But here's the thing that I found really, really fascinating. And this is a deep little nugget of communication strategy.
Oh.
It's the deliberate inclusion of dislikes. We always focus our introductions on what we like, but our dislikes, they're powerful boundaries. They show people where we end and they begin.
That's so true. Okay, so what are their dislikes?
They're very precise. Paul does not like olives.
Okay.
And Emily doesn't like spicy or hot food. So you have these small, specific food boundaries.
And what about activities?
Well, they find some common ground. They both dislike waiting in long lines. I mean, who doesn't? It's boring.
Very relatable.
But then Emily adds this crucial, unique boundary. She hates waking up very early. She even says, I am not a morning person because she loves her sleep.
You know, that one single piece of information, I hate waking up early. That tells me more about her lifestyle than almost anything else we've heard.
Exactly. It instantly tells you so much about her routine, her energy, when to hang out with her.
That's the strategic brilliance of it.
Yeah.
Saying you hate small talk might be a bit too direct, a bit aggressive.
Right. But if you hate waking up early, or you can't stand cilantro, those quirky little things are instantly humanizing. They create clarity and humor all at once.
So we've walked through this whole tiered profile for Paul and Emily. But I think the most important takeaway for anyone listening is the strategy of selectivity.
Oh, absolutely crucial. You never, ever recite this entire list.
Right.
The question, tell me about yourself, is not an exam, it's an invitation. And
Yeah.
the context of that invitation tells you which 3 or 4 things to pick from your personal inventory.
Okay, so let's apply this. We have Paul, Canadian teacher, loves dogs, quiet towns, old rock music, hates olives.
And Emily, American art student, loves cats, busy cities, pasta, painting, and sleeping in. We have all the facts. Now, the strategy.
Okay, so imagine Paul is at a professional networking event for teachers.
Yeah.
He needs to sound competent, but also approachable. What does he pick?
He picks from the professional tier, something like, my name is Paul, I'm an English teacher, and I love my job because I really enjoy seeing those aha moments in my students. And he'd keep the geography simple. I'm from Canada. Notice he's not talking about his dog or his pizza yet. He's establishing common ground first.
Perfect. Now, what about Emily? She's at a casual hobby meetup, like a book club. She wants to show her creative social side.
She leans right into the dynamic stuff. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm an art student. And on the weekends, I pretty much spend all my time painting and reading adventure stories.
And she could even add that little bit of flavor.
Exactly. Like, I live in the city and love the energy, but you will never catch me at an early morning yoga class. I am not a morning person.
Yes. She uses the dislike as a punchline. It makes her instantly relatable and memorable. The whole strategy is about tailoring it.
And the source even gives models for when you need to be super brief. Like in a new class, the answer is just functional. My name is Paul, I'm from the United States, and I like to learn new things. Minimal info, maximum relevance.
The ultimate goal of this is that your simple answer starts a real conversation.
That's it. If Paul mentions old rock, someone asks, what bands? If Emily mentions adventure stories, someone asks, what are you reading?
The question, tell me about yourself, isn't scary. It's just a door. And your strategic answer is the key that opens it.
And the final, concise summaries the framework gives us are just perfect models to internalize. They blend that foundation with a little bit of flavor.
So for Paul, it's, hello, my name's Paul. I am a teacher. I like dogs and pizza, but I don't like olives.
And for Emily, hi, I'm Emily. I'm a student. I love cats and pasta, but I don't like to wake up early. They're simple, they're friendly, and you remember them because they have that balance of likes and a clear personal boundary. You know, we learned that sharing that one specific quirky dislike is actually really powerful strategically.
Yeah.
That one thing, olives, early mornings, bad grammar, whatever it is for you, it's a great definition of your personality because it shows, a bit of conviction.
So for you listening, think about it. What's the single dislike that most clearly defines your boundaries or your quirks? Combine that with your core passion, your job, your garden, your Saturday soccer game.
That combination of a defining boundary and some genuine enthusiasm, that's the starting point.
And if you can deliver that with a bit of confidence, it's probably the most powerful way to start any new connection.
So use that quiet town versus busy city contrast. Use your family's story to hint at your values. And use that one powerful dislike to make your next introduction totally unforgettable.
Thank you for joining this deep dive into the strategic art of introductions. Stay safe and keep practicing those powerful selective personal stories. We'll talk to you next time.